Okay, here we are, and I'm going to start by bringing in another tree right here. So welcome. So glad you joined me. You can hear the goats on the farm. Yep, they get kind of boisterous sometimes. They're so funny. But I have this tiny little angle brush. You can see that? And it's helping me create a nice tip at the top of my tree. And I'm gonna move down. Of course, the sun's coming from the left or the right hand side. So I want to get in this highlight first. Scooping up that paint like that. And then don't worry about being perfect because these trunks are not perfect. Just want to bring that nice little, get it thicker as you go down. Going across those trees there. Scoop up a little more. To make sure that the camera was showing all this. I've had a couple of filming times where I messed up and didn't have the whole spot where I was filming come in. And just take your time. Just get it thicker as you go down. I want this tree to be kind of a skinnier one than these two. I don't want it to take up the whole view. Now I'm going to show you a really quick part of this trunk here that I haven't finished, as you could see. So I think we're just here in the camera lens, so I'll start here and bring in some highlight on this side. And then I'm going to take this brush and set it down and pull it over. Just in the spots where I want maybe a little more sun hitting it. See that? Push a little bit. And then I can angle it this way to create just little cracks where the tree. And don't worry if you've messed up there. We could always bring a branch in, or you could take a paper towel and wipe that off, or some oil. And then I'm going to grab some of this gray, bring some of those little cracks and little knots, little marks in the trunk. You can always bring that stronger highlight in there too, where you might want the sun to really be popping. Like that, just get that pure white. Bring that in a little stronger. I like a little brown spots. Maybe not on this tree so much, but maybe on this tree. So I'm going to grab some of that oxide with a little bit of burnt umber. It's also mixed with a little white there. I'm going to just pop it on there. This is kind of a younger tree. Use the tip of the brush to just pull that. I'm just creating some color. Pounce it down. What I mean by pounce, I'm just kind of tapping. Grab a little maybe black in there. Just mix it. A little darker as you go down. Oops, dropped my paper. I'm going to come up here and grab a little bit of black. Bring in again some of those deeper, darker patches. And we're going from light to dark, so the white to the brown colors, then the black. Just add that black in there where you think it might be getting more shadow. Now this is part of a 2-part series. Might do a 3rd part to this. This is all raw, unedited. So sometimes I have to stop and then I'll just add another series, another part to it. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm so glad you're here and I hope you learn a lot. I'm going to keep adding more and more of these to my Patreon membership. Out of each painting they'll have some clips like this. I'll just be doing specifics. Now I want to get kind of a direction of where my other branches are going. I'm going to grab some white again. I'm holding up this picture because I need to follow some of these branches, and they sort of go off like, of course these ones up here will be shorter because that's the tip of the tree. Let's start with white. That's a little easier to find your pattern of branches. Maybe, and just kind of squiggle that to put bends in the branch. Like that. We can even come up here and bring some in on these trees too, like maybe there's one coming over like that. Just decide. Just gotta be free with it and look at your picture. Get them a little bit longer as you come over. Grab a little more paint. See, already that tree has some character to it. And you don't ever want these branches to, you want them to alternate. See, like that and that. You don't want to ever have them right at the same point of entry onto the trunk. That's just not the way they grow. I'm just making little bends, and then I will come in with my dark colors. See, look at your picture and you can see where the dark is. And then that creates a shadow for your to-be leaves. And it just naturally hits wherever. It just kind of creates its own little. Same with the trunk. You want to start thin at the end and thicker as you go in. Just follow it down like that. Grab some brown. Remember, your light is coming from the right-hand side. Make your shadows a little thicker, a little darker in some areas than others. And you just keep creating as you go. There's no rules. Happy mistakes, as Bob Ross would say. And that kind of gives you a direction of where your leaves and things are going to go. So then I'll pick up my little rake, and start tapping in some of those back leaves. Small at the top, best you can. If you have to use your liner brush, that's fine. Depends on how tedious you want to get. You want to go off different directions like this. Start small up here. Come in and grab some of these other colors, the ochre and the phthalo, and just let them mix on their own together. You'll know wherever you're hitting your colors in the background what. So you hear it's dark, so I want to come in with maybe some really light. There goes my chickens. I think that's the rooster. He gets excited when the girls lay their eggs. Now I'm going to go into my Naples yellow. Just keep mixing the colors. Just create your own world of color. And you're going to come back here and you're going to go across some of these branches. See, I'm just going to grab a little of each color on my brush. I'm going to go right across there. All kinds of noises out here on the farm. Kids doing their chores. Okay, now I've grabbed a little bit of that orange. Kind of come across my branches like this. Keep coming down. Keep creating color. Grab some yellow light. Come across here to get that sun to bring those leaves forward a little bit. Got a little orange on the brush, but that's okay. Kind of creates its own little diversity of color. And I want to lead the viewer in. So I want to get more light on some of these branches that are to the right, where the sunlight's catching them. Brings the viewer over here into the rest of the painting, or whatever you're doing on yours. These are just little tips and tricks on how to do. See, I'm twisting that brush. And down here I'm against some dark so that I can bring in some light. Let's just cross over each other. And then you can always bring branches back up through the tree. You don't have to stick with one pattern. You can just pull those branches right back in, just like show you with the liner brush. Grab that color, see where this branch kind of disappeared, and I'm just going to pop it in and out of these leaves because the leaves are covering some. Same with the trunk. I can just kind of retouch those areas as I go. And I can even bring in some more branches if I want. Maybe I want some lighter oxide color. Put your highlights on there too. And your shadows. Decide as I go. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of this phthalo green, some of this, I don't know what's down here, some browns, burnt umber, some yellow ochre. Make a nice green. Tap it around, mix it in there, and then just scoop it up. And I can come through with some shadow greens. And just keep going back and forth. Just fixing all your little spots that maybe you covered over accidentally or whatever. Or adding to. Because I want to create a little shadow up in the top of this tree. Just to add some character. I'm just flattening that brush out. Maybe I want to pull some shadow across here. Now, however you let that brush land is the mark you're going to get. If I want to use the tip of the brush, I'll get smaller marks. If I want to use it flat, I'll get broader, wider marks. And if I want to go to the liner brush to create these little leaves, I can do that as well. See? Leaves. And you're going to do that all the way down your tree. Now, maybe I want to grab a little more highlight. And when it dries, it's not going to accept the highlight as much when it's wet like that. You just continue all the way down your tree, up and down your tree, just creating more and more branches. Maybe I'll do a little bit more, but I have to think about it. I want to come over here and bring more of these branches in as well. I can start with dark or I can start with light, depending on what my background looks like. If there's light background, I can use some dark. See? Just squiggle them in. Maybe I want to come back to my highlight because I'm going across some dark background. I just pull that down into the branch down here. Now I'm using my little rake. You can use whatever's comfortable to you, your liner brush or your little angle brush. There's no rules. But I like this one because it can do all kinds of tricks. Just depend on how heavy your hand is, how heavy your touch is. You just have to keep practicing. Come down on yourself. Just keep working it. And then you figure out what brush works best for you, what touch with each brush is like. Now I can start bringing in more of these leaves, reaching out, pointing towards the mountain that I've got on this painting, or however you want your tree to look. Since it's a dark background here, I'm able to get a lot more highlight twisting and turning. See how I'm twisting, turning this brush like that? That gives me different marks as I set it down on the canvas. And then I can always, like I did over here, keep adding more twigs and branches, keep changing my colors, because this is autumn. I've got all kinds of colors in these aspen trees. I don't want to cover up my background too much, so I don't want to go crazy here. So I think I want to bring in a little more light here because I'm really on that darker backdrop. Now maybe I will switch to my darker green because I'm going to go across this darker area. Now these will also get highlights, but I want to start with the dark so I can see where I'm going. Just crisscross it across the branches. Maybe I'll come into maybe a little orange with a little bit of that Naples yellow. Just lightly touch it. Now the bigger your brush, the bigger leaves you're gonna see. These are teeny tiny, far away branches and leaves. A little bit more up in here just to show you where I'm going here. Maybe a little Naples. Touch, touch, touch till I get myself a nice little pattern of leaves. And maybe I'll go even into a deeper green just to give it a little more shadow of greens here. Burnt umber and green are going to make a nice phthalo green, and burnt umber are going to make a nice shadow color for this area right here. Maybe down into here as well. Just have to keep working it full wherever you think those shadows would be and where your highlights will be. That's how you do it. Keep tapping around. Bring in some oranges if you want. Down here I'll start creating more branches. It just starts to evolve. It's really fun. So I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you in the next one.